From the WWE Vault. Smartest thing Ringside's ever done is this sort of best of series from old Elite figures. Done up in like the older packaging from when the line started with Mattel. We're calling this Series 1, but all these figures are previous releases, but very popular figures. So we kind of get a redo of them. And they're actually kind of enhanced with some of the more modern things that a lot of figures come with in these series. So it's pretty much genius. Of all the ones of the Series 1, which is a ton of people, I wanted to get the Kane because I kind of missed the opportunity to get this attire in Elite form. So we can see on the package a kind of a lame, insulting bio of Kane here on the back with a picture and everything like that. But I wanted to get this one just because this is a famous attire for Kane and the championship he comes with. We get a hardcore title with this as well. So we're just going to open it up and take a close look at this figure. First change from the original is going to be that it actually comes with alternate hands. That's not a thing that was included with early Elite figures and not even really a feature. If you pulled the hands out, they could break. They're not really meant to be taken out. So we'll take a look at the hardcore title. Not like a vac metallized, like super shiny, but the hardcore title is always kind of dirty anyway, so the duller look actually benefits this title. You got the duct tape and then kind of the lettering, but it doesn't have any splashes of color that a lot of the pictures of the old hardcore title had. There's kind of weird spray paint blotches here and there. But still one that's not very common to come with a lot of figures. Probably because a lot of champions are just not people they do figures of, sadly. And I'll talk about that a little later here. But we have the figure itself. Of course, it's going to be Elite articulation, of course. Probably improved a little bit. Oh yeah, because I mean, this is going to have the elbow. This is going to be a better version of this Kane than the original release. That was already a Ringside exclusive to begin with. But with this attire, it's the tank top, and it's supposed to have the mesh look. These brownish kind of spots are supposed to be simulating that mesh look. But past renditions of this attire from other companies have actually done the little lines that kind of see a mesh design. Here we just kind of have the vague coloring. So not quite as detailed in that way. One detail I thought they were going to skip from the original release is the glove with like the Kane text logo. I thought they were going to maybe omit that because that would be more realistic. He didn't really have his logo on his glove, I don't think, in real life. But that was on the original release, so for some reason they always include that with Kane figures. And I don't really know why. Big kind of silvery belt design on them, the same mesh mock on the tights. But we can compare it to the kind of basic release of this attire. You can see they used a different head, and I probably would say the Elite one is better. I mean, I did go out of my way to get this Elite figure even though I already had this one, the basic. But I mean, the same colorings and stuff they did for like the mesh, a little bit bigger on the belt, and just overall, of course, the articulation and just the body shape. It's going to be a lot better for the Elite because the basic ones just kind of have to stand stiff, you know, the leg, the older basic leg movement, just kind of stiff looking. He's got to stand up absolutely straight. But just very different on the mask, bigger mouth kind of thing on the basic, or bigger mouth on the Elite there. Just different Kane heads used. Tiny enhancements here and there, like kind of the skin tone of the joint on the basic one, not painted black. Here it's black. The silver on the wristbands. The basic just getting a painted one. So a lot of extra details on the Elite that make it worth getting over the basic version. Of course, it coming with the hardcore title means it's kind of like when he was at WrestleMania won the hardcore title, but the champion there would have been Raven, not one we've gotten an Elite figure of. So I always see things like this and kind of think of the matches and history involved when I get them. Think, do I have other figures that go with this moment or match or title run and everything? And things like that stick out to me, that we don't have like a Raven from his WWE run or any run. I mean, I get why we get different attires of like Kane and bigger stars like The Rock and everything, but sometimes it's pretty minor changes. Pretty major in Kane's case, but someone just different colored tights and haircuts like The Rock makes me think of like Raven, that would have all these very, very different, drastically different looks for different time periods of his career. be like appealing to a lot of different collectors depending on what one you did. But that's why I kind of hunted down this Kane too, because he had so many drastic attire changes, and I just like to collect his kind of history. And here you're getting a figure that if you missed it, it's a lot harder to get a hold of, and now with the re-release it's actually enhanced, so we have like things they didn't have back then, like facial printing, so it's a little more subtle colorings and things like with the eyes and all that. So it's actually a better version that you can get a brand new version of instead of somebody's used one off of eBay or something like that. So a great opportunity, kind of re-releasing very popular ones, some that were just current appearances at the time, but now it's been so long since Mattel took over, they're actually kind of like classic looks of some superstars that aren't actively wrestling anymore. Like, just kind of interesting in that way that it's come around. But I'll be watching that line pretty closely because I'm sure there's plenty of ones I might have missed along the way. Mostly collect kind of 90s, late 90s characters and wrestlers, so if that's the kind of figures you want to see here, this is where to be. WWF and WCW as well from that time period. So hopefully you can stick around here and see what else I open up and show off. That way I'll get to see you in the next video.